Graduating from a national university, I somehow managed to make my way into the corporate world. This is a businessman's town. I get my ass kicked by my boss all day. But at the same time, I hope to be in his place someday. It's the only way to maintain your sanity here. This is the city of Winter, where I once lived. It all seems so far away. Right now, all that's in front of me is the shimmering water of the South China Sea, the stirring winds.
But that's business.
I guess this must be what they call the Stockholm Syndrome. Right now, I feel like this big guy next to me is the only person I can trust in the entire world. At the entrance to the Gulf, a Buddha statue, once meant to brighten the world with the light of virtue, now sits decaying. Beyond its faded glory lies Roanapur, the city of immortality. From the overland entrance to the city, there's always a noose left hanging, intended for some unknown person. And what awaits past the scenery is the city of pleasure, Roanapur. Until recently, I was a businessman in Tokyo. Now I'm a crew member on a pirate ship. I'll take it to heart. She's right. I may still be too soft. After all, I don't know the histories of my crew members. They keep their pasts to themselves, their privacy protected by a fierce sense of independence. But I don't care. That's how I feel. Even as I was saying the words, a completely different thought had crossed my mind. I can't even imagine how her life was shattered to make her who she is today. But I must be pretty broken myself to sit here in awe, praising her for her powers of destruction. Not so long ago, I was a businessman in Tokyo. Now I work for a shipping company in the South China Sea. There's nothing particularly special about this little shipping company, though at times we do brush up against the law to get the job done. Everyone's feet are covered with mud from the gutter. There's a noose that hangs at the entrance of the city. It's a message to be read by all who encounter it. For the cautious, the sane, it's a warning. For the reckless, the wild at heart, an invitation they cannot refuse. The worst of the criminal underworld gather here. They come from around the globe to butt heads and jostle for power. An evil city caught between the East and the West. Founded during the Cold War and nurtured by the many who came here to ride the wave of the illegal drug trade sweeping across the continent. The edge of the world, a crucible of hypocrisy. A place where people whose souls have been destroyed in the relentless search for money and power reside. A final stop on the way to hell. How have I managed to stay alive this long? With the help of 3 people, Dutch, Revy, and Benny, also known as the Lagoon Company. The name of this city is spoken of amongst the villains of the world. Many who come here to make a name for themselves are swallowed by the darkness, never to return. A cruel fate awaits any half-assed small-time crook who accidentally stumbles into Roanapur. Right now, another sacrificial lamb has wandered too far from home. The city awaits. Revy.
Yeah, I believed in God right up until that night the cops beat the hell out of me for no reason at all. I'll say this once, next time you decide you're gonna tell me what's proper, you'll no longer be one of us.
All this time, nothing's changed. Revy, in the midst of this cruel night that this girl has just endured, I feel powerless to help. I realize that my words will never bring comfort to her as she's stumbling toward your world. I'm right here where I'm sitting, Revy. I'm not anywhere else. That's a lie. Let's face it, I'm not sitting anywhere. Every corner of this city is filled with people who struggle against overwhelming odds and fail. and are now just waiting to die. Roanapur, a natural gathering point for criminal organizations. The Hong Kong Triad, Hotel Moscow, the Cosa Nostra, the Colombian Cartel, and countless others. During the Second World War, the Japanese dredged the harbor to make Roanapur into their naval base. After the war, it became a transit port for drug smugglers. Now it's worse. The city's like a rat's nest, stuffed with illegal contraband. You want me to save those kids in a place like this? Think. Forget about your self-doubts and think. Come on, you can do this. What are the common factors here? This is the source of the drug trade. And this is the mouth of the river. Damn! Back yourself into a corner now. Figure this out! No. I should... simplify. The Italians might not involve themselves in this deal. Not like the South Americans. The cartel has been in this from the start. Gustavo said HQ is sending them soldiers. FARC troops are coming here to deal with the Maid personally. A three-way fight between the Maid, the Americans, and the Colombians. Here in town. It'll be a bloodbath. It's hard to say if Garcia will catch up to Roberta. As for the Americans, there's really nowhere for them to hide in this city. They'll keep running, but it'll be impossible for them to lose the bloodhound of Florencia. If I want to help those men escape, I have to introduce another factor into the equation. That requires one of the other players to come out of the shadows. Now I just have to coax them out. Damn it, the last thing I need right now is a lecture from Chang.